Greetings from LA, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And I find myself in very good spirits indeed. Today is Monday, October 16th, yes. And a few hours ago, in fact, the Criterion Collection made its announcement via its website with respect to the releases that it plans to release for January 2024. So if it's okay with you, my dear friends, let me take this opportunity to share with you some initial thoughts and comments that I have with regard to such planned releases for January 2024 from the Criterion Collection. Before I continue on, let me say up front that, again, these will be my initial thoughts and comments. This is before the item will actually arrive and before I will have an opportunity to explore it directly. And I hope to be able to do so in January when the release of such item does occur. And maybe you and I might be able to explore it together as we have been doing for the past few years with respect to the recent releases from the Criterion Collection. So I'm looking forward to that day immensely, my dear friends. But before that day comes, let us again understand that these will be initial thoughts and comments, meaning that maybe my viewpoint or my perspective or my opinion might change when the actual item arrives and I have the opportunity to explore it further. But again, with the understanding that this is just an initial response, these are my initial reactions, my thoughts based on the announcement which was just freshly made earlier today. Let us proceed with our thoughts and comments on these planned releases for January next year. I should also point out that if you want further information regarding the Criterion Collection releases, these planned new releases, or indeed any other releases in the physical media catalog of Criterion, which is a great catalog, by the way, my strong suggestion, as always, is to check out the Criterion Collection website directly for more information about planned cover art design, information about the technical specifications, presentation specifications, special features, write-ups on the films themselves, links to essays, etc. It's a really great resource, so please check it out if you haven't already for information about these planned new releases as well as things that already exist in the catalog. So without further ado, my dear friends, let us proceed with what these planned releases are for January 2024. Okay, so first up, scheduled for release on January 2nd, 2024. And this is a set of 3 films. And these 3 films are from the 1950s, 1955, 1956, and 1959, yes. And these are, again, a collection of films that are given the spine number 782 collectively. And then we also have each of the films then given its own separate and individual spine number as well. This is a set that already exists in the Criterion Collection physical media catalog, but in a Blu-ray set, and it's a really great Blu-ray set, by the way. But now it seems that upon this occasion of January 2024, we are going to get this set employing the 4K UHD plus Blu-ray format. So it looks like that will total, yes, 6 discs. And I'm speaking of a set of films, which is from the filmmaker Satyajit Ray. And the name of the set collectively is the Apu Trilogy. So the Apu Trilogy is going to be re-emerging in the Criterion Collection in this set. And according to the website, it looks like it says 4K digital restorations of all 3 films. So I'm not sure. It seems to me that maybe I'm not sure if we're getting any new restorations upon this new release for 2024. It doesn't seem to me that that's going to be the case, but that's okay. We will check these details as best as we can when the new release arrives. And I mention that, of course, because I say that the Blu-ray set already exists in the Criterion Collection catalog, and it's a fantastic Blu-ray set of a fantastic set of films. I must say that the Apu trilogy, or the films that are making up this wonderful collection of films, these are very magical films. They are magnificent, and they are at once life-affirming and so totally devastating and truly a set of type of awakening feelings and sensations that are set against the backdrop of a series of stories or a series of family stories or linkages. And the family dynamic is very important. The idea of childhood and adolescence and growing up and adulthood is also very important. Generational shifts are also very important. The socio-political context is also very important. The lifeblood of parents and children, siblings, and things that are known and unknown, venturing out into the world, trying to make a living, expectation versus freedom, and the social sort of economic situations that bring about with it certain sense of change and embodiment, as well as a sense of yearning and longing and loss. And that is always, always given to us in these beautifully rendered pictures and images and sounds, and the beautifully rendered sense of selves and beings throughout the scope of this story. And it's both epic and intimate all at once. I have never been able to speak about these films on this channel, which has been one of my great faults, I think. I've spoken perhaps briefly, but never to the detail that I've always wanted to. I wouldn't call myself an expert when it comes to the films of the Apu trilogy, but I have seen these films a number of times prior to the Blu-ray release some years back, and my life felt permanently altered ever since. And so I am looking forward to this so much. I'm so thrilled by this. It'll be interesting to see what the presentations will have in store for us. Maybe there may or may not be some immediate noticeable differences between what we saw on the Blu-ray and what we might see with the 4K UHD. But this will be a part of the conversation, as it always is with 4K UHD releases from Criterion and other places. This will be something that we can, of course, talk about when we explore these films in further detail, I hope. But this is so exciting. I am thrilled to bits by this. It is a great occasion to re-celebrate these films. If you have not yet seen these films, the Satyajit Ray films, the Apu trilogy, now is your opportunity, my dear friends. They are available right now in a great Blu-ray set, but if you want to wait for what we might have in store for us with the January re-release of this or re-emergence of this, of course you can do what you feel like you want to do, what is good for you and your needs as a cinema lover and in terms of the Criterion collection and elsewhere. So whatever suits your needs, my dear friends, let us, you and I, if it's okay with you, explore these films together. I cannot wait. This is a great opportunity to do this. Again, a great opportunity to re-celebrate the beautiful and magnificent legacy that is the Apu trilogy. Okay, next up, scheduled for release on January 9th, 2024. And this is a title which is at spine number 834. And this is therefore a title that already also currently exists in the Criterion collection in a Blu-ray release. But it looks like this time, again, we will be seeing a re-release or re-emergence of this title, but using the 4K UHD plus Blu-ray format edition that we have been now accustomed to seeing from Criterion and the like. And it looks like, well, what is the film? This is a film which is described as being from the year 1984, and the director is Joel Cohen. And it is described as being a film by Joel and Ethan Cohen, in fact, on the front cover. And I'm referring to the film which is Blood Simple. So, Blood Simple, yeah, this is another classic film for a number of reasons. It is a film that is very, very memorable in terms of its noir nature, in terms of its thriller aspect that has the great tendency of feeling like it, in a really wonderful way, goes haywire. And that going haywire, I think, is a wonderful trait that can be found in the brilliant works of the Coen brothers. And of course, in many ways, this film, Blood Simple, is so historic in the trajectory of the Coen brothers' filmography in terms of leading the way, as it were, in terms of the director filmography. director-producer filmography, I should say. Although the relationship, the professional and artistic creative relationship between Joel Coen and Ethan Coen is another brilliant and fascinating aspect of their films, starting with, of course, Blood Simple. And it also shows, I think, a certain degree of sort of ambiance and wit, as well as the frightening, chilling, unnerving aspect of the crime thriller done in this very independent, rugged spirit way of Joel Coen and Ethan Coen during the 1980s in this very exciting period. And of course, the rest, as I say, is history in terms of what will be coming along the road in terms of their filmography beyond this. But of course, Blood Simple is such a key and important work. And so I am so thrilled again. This will be a wonderful opportunity to discuss this film on this channel. I haven't had a chance to discuss Blood Simple yet, so looking forward to this immensely. I'm looking very briefly at the website, and it looks like there may be. It looks like what we'll be getting with the Blu-ray might be what currently exists in the Criterion Collection catalog right now, the single disc Blu-ray that already exists, which I have, which I've enjoyed, and we can talk about it when it does arrive. But it looks like we're getting some overlap with that, but we can check these details when the item does arrive. And it does say the 4K digital transfer. But we shall see what those details, what those differences, if any, are when we actually examine it. I don't see anything that indicates to me anything in terms of a new restoration, but we shall see when those details emerge when we actually explore this title together. Oh, I cannot wait. This is another favorite of mine in the Coen brothers filmography. So this is going to be scheduled for release, the re-release or the re-emergence of this, the 4K UHD Blu-ray. 4K UHD plus Blu-ray format option will be available on January 9th, 2024, and that is for the film Blood Simple. Okay, next up we have scheduled for release January 16th, 2024, and this is a title which is going to be designated at spine number 1202, and this is going to be for either a single disc Blu-ray or a 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo edition, so the two discs, the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc option together, or the single Blu-ray disc option. And wow, this is a film which is described as being from the year 1996. John Sayles is the filmmaker, and it's the film which is Lone Star. Lone Star, and it says here new 4K digital restoration, supervised by director John Sayles and director of photography Stuart Dryber, and with great details here. I've spoken a little bit about this film Lone Star on this channel, but to be able to talk about this film Lone Star again is like a dream come true. I am so thrilled with this news. Lone Star is one of those films that is traversing space and time in such a great and clever way in the hands of John Sayles and company, telling stories within stories, or telling stories about the past and interweaving it with a sense of a police procedural, a crime thriller, but also about secrets, family secrets, and things that perhaps to most people are best left unknown. But in the hands of John Sayles and company, in the form of this brilliant film, we have the sense of trajectory, perhaps inexorably towards a type of conclusion or fate, again, against the backdrop of this wonderful thriller. There are aspects of the Western, there are aspects of the procedural, there's also the human drama at its heart and center, the very core lifeblood of this film. John Sayles, we have seen his work, I think, emerging through many releases, many great releases, physical media releases of late. Of course, Criterion has been some example of that. But now we have Lone Star continuing that tradition. I am so happy about this. This is John Sayles' career His filmography is, I think, legendary. It deserves all the attention it can get. And with releases like this, hopefully that means that more and more people who have yet to discover John Sayles' filmography will be able to do so with great entry points, such as Lone Star. My goodness. Lone Star is coming to the Criterion Collection. You know, I heard about this through the grapevine as a type of rumor. Oh, Lone Star might be coming to the Criterion Collection physical media catalog, but I didn't know when, and I don't have that insider information or knowledge. So I was waiting, eagerly anticipating this, just like everyone else was. But the fact that it's now here, wow. I have this on a DVD, but again, I have not been able to see this, or I don't know what this new 4K digital restoration will be, which this is purported to be based upon. I can't wait for that. It'll be nice to see what this looks like in this restoration version. I have seen it a number of times, but it's been, for instance, on the older DVD or on VHS tape, whatever the case may be. So with this and the combination with this plus the supplements that seem to be included here, this is a true delight. This is a type of uh, uh, the electricity that I feel in my very sort of blood is I don't know if I can express it enough just how excited I am about this. Oh my goodness, what a film this is. This is a very it has a sort of dark corridors and also the light potentially at the end. Will that be found or not? And all the ways in which the characters in various say, spaces and times interact. This is an epic film in true John Sayles fashion. I cannot wait for this, and I cannot wait for the reaction. This is going to be great. Scheduled for release January 16th, 2024, and this is the film which is from John Sayles, and it is Lone Star. Please excuse the lighting change. It's now gotten dark. And so let me continue on it. Well, although it's dark outside and the lights are on here, we are still carrying on with our discussion of our reaction to the Criterion Collection news for its January 2024 planned releases. And that brings us to another release, a Blu-ray set, 3 discs, which is scheduled for release January 23rd, 2024. And this set seems to be given the spine number collectively of 1203. And it includes a number of films, a lot of films indeed, that are described as being spanning from the years 1968 to 1978. And this is from a filmmaker whose works are celebrated the world over. And there is a great span of thought and care and challenge and thought-provoking cinema activity to the max included in these works, a number of which are included already or are part of the Criterion Collection physical media catalog already. But we see, again, 2K restorations or 4K restorations of these works, and they are part of this set, and the set is called CHANTAL AKERMAN Masterpieces 1968 to 1978. This is a 3-disc Blu-ray set. And we have, oh my goodness, we have a number of films, most of which I understand can be found already in past Criterion physical media releases. The Eclipse DVD set of the Chantal AKERMAN films, for example, or the Blu-ray release of Jean Dielman, 23 kilocommerce, 1080 pucelles. And so we have, and also the supplements that are included in that particular work from the 1970s. So, but we have a number of features here, or a number of works that are that seem to be adding to the Chantal AKERMAN Criterion Collection catalog. So this is very exciting news. It's a gathering of Chantal AKERMAN's works, again spanning these 10 years. And it reminds me a lot, actually, or just off the cuff here, it reminds me of the recent Pasolini set. And as some of you may know, that Pasolini set, Pasolini 101, spanned a certain number of years, approximately 10 years in the 1960s. So we're having a similar type of approach, perhaps in terms of span of years with a particular filmmaker. And but this is so exciting. This is absolutely exciting. I am just I am very thrilled. We have this being treated as a set, and as I say, there's the news of the 4K digital restorations of certain works, or 4K digital restoration of Les Rendezvous d'Anna, and then a 2K restorations of works like Saute-Mobile and L'Enfant l'Aimé ou Je joue à entre une femme mariée. Which is, I think, going to be one of the highlights of this set, which is potentially filled with a whole bunch of highlights. As well as, among others, a 2K digital restoration of Jean Gilman 23 Quai de Commerce 1080 Bruxelles. We're going to have to see how that compares, if there are any differences made between what's going to be offered for that particular film with this set versus what we saw in the currently existing Blu-ray of that in the Criterion Collection catalog. Those points notwithstanding, this is another potentially brilliant collector's set. Chantal Akerman is a filmmaker who is, the works are so, I think, far-reaching and quite filled with a lot of variety on the one hand, but there's also so many through lines that can be said to be had there in terms of style and substance, and in terms of how perspective and subjectivity is presented in a way which is, I think, challenging and thought-provoking, and also serves to sort of reflect a type of consciousness with the various actors and set pieces and subject matter and characters that we see on display throughout her works. So I think Jean Dillman, 23 Quai de Commerce 1080 Bruxelles is perhaps considered to be one of the most exciting and vital examples of the AKERMAN cinema journey. So for that and other reasons, this is very exciting news indeed. It's a set, so it'll be a great opportunity to explore the works of AKERMAN, a type of AKERMAN cinema journey, whose cinema legacy is celebrated the world over, and for excellent reason. I believe. So this is wonderful, wonderful news. It'll be another opportunity to explore the AKERMAN cinema journey works in the context of this channel, which I have not done with any sense of say, well, any sense of detail. So I wish to remedy that when this release arrives. Oh, this is another exciting piece of news for January, 2024. Very, very exciting indeed. My goodness, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So once again, scheduled for release January 23rd, 2024. This is the Blu-ray set, 3 discs Blu-ray set. Chantal Akerman Masterpieces, 1968 to 1978. Wow. Next, scheduled for release January 30th, 2024. And this is for spine number 1205. It's going to be either on a single disc Blu-ray or a single disc DVD. So it's nice to see the DVD format still made available for some of the titles. One of which being this title, which is described as being from the year 2017. The filmmaker is D. Reese, and the name of the film is Mudbound. Oh my goodness, Mudbound. This is really great. I was so excited about the works of D. Reese when the film Pariah was made available, was released by the Criterion Collection some time back. And I think we had the opportunity, the great opportunity, you and I, to talk a little bit about that film in the context of that great Criterion release on this channel. So please, if you're interested, please check out that video. But in that discussion, I became, there was some reference, if I recall correctly, to the work Mudbound. And so I tried to find it and track it down. And indeed, I was able to watch it separately. And I was very impressed with it. Very, very impressed with it indeed. But I thought it might come to the Criterion Collection, but I wasn't quite sure. But from what the discussion was, and again, certain references made to Mudbound in the Pariah discussion, the possibility was certainly there, at least in my own mind. Well, lo and behold, look what is happening now for for January 2024. We are getting this D. Reese film, Mudbound. And my goodness, it's a new 2K digital master according to the materials here. And it looks like we have a new audio commentary featuring the director. So that's great. It's nice to see the commentary track tradition still alive and well, and the new commentary track at that. So very exciting. Wow, this is great. And a new documentary, or new documentaries, it seems, for purposes of this. Again, I was so impressed with this when I saw it, and I've seen it only once. But I was very impressed with it. I was impressed with its directness, and I was impressed with the sort of earnestness that's on display. And I could sense immediately those sensibilities that are very much alive and well in the work by D. Reese Pariah. My goodness, and it was quite a direct and intense experience, but so overwhelming that I'm so happy to be able to say that the Criterion Collection will be giving me and many others a chance to watch or rewatch, as the case may be, this fascinating work. Oh, Mudbound. It is going to be made available, according to this, in the Blu-ray or the DVD, so you have your choice of the format. And again, 2K digital master with a number of features, some of which are described as being new, including, I must say, the new audio commentary track, which I mentioned before. This is going to be wow, a very stunning bit of news here. I'm so excited for this. Very excited for this. This is going to be, again, released on January 30th. What a month January is shaping up to be, including the announcement of the release of this film, which is Mudbound. Again, wow. But that's not all, because also scheduled for release January 30th. And this is going to be for a Blu-ray, a single disc Blu-ray, or the 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo 2-disc release. And this is a film which is designated by Criterion at spine number 1204. And the filmmaker is Danny Boyle. And the name of the work is, well, and also, this is from the year 1996, it's described here, 1996. Filmmaker Danny Boyle. And the name of the work is Trainspotting. Trainspotting, wow. And it looks here to be, it says here, new 4K digital restoration, supervised by director Danny Boyle, with 2.0 surround DTS HD master audio. And we have an alternate 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack as well as a number of features. There is, let's see, it's going to include a commentary track. Well done. So, and a number of other features as well. So, this is very exciting news for a number of reasons. Well, first of all, it's Trainspotting. And I remember when this first came out in the mid-90s, or 96, right? And I caught up with it a little bit later, but there was so much buzz, so much hype around this film. And I think rightly so when one watches it. I mean, this is a film that has a lot of beats to it. It has a lot of shocks to it. And when one gets into it, there's a type of irreverence on the one hand, but also the shocks to the system, I think, are quite shocking. And so there's this really interesting mix or blend or clash, if you will, of what we see as a type of playfulness of the speed in which this film progresses on the one hand, and then almost the darkness which this film is also very much a part of, that in terms of the stories that it portrays and the characters that it also portrays. It has a sense of wry, witty humor, and also a sense of the gravity. And that balance is like a juggling act that's handled so deftly and so skillfully by Danny Boyle and company. It's a real feat, and cinematically, it's incredibly. It's filled with a lot of energy and rush and drive. So it's a great example of the film's cinema of the 1990s, cinema of Danny Boyle and company. And so it's a wonderful news to see this film in the form of this new Criterion release, again purporting to be based on this new restoration. I don't know any details about the new restoration per se, so I look forward to watching it when the Criterion Collection arrives, or the release arrives again at the end of January 2024. I should say also, another thing that's very exciting about this is that for those who know the Criterion Collection Laserdisc history, TRAINSPOTTING was indeed a Criterion Collection Laserdisc back in the day. So count, this is one, we can cross off another Criterion Collection Laserdisc title that has yet to enter into the current Criterion Collection physical media catalog. Well, here's another one that we can say we can cross off that list. TRAINSPOTTING, which used to be a Criterion Collection Laserdisc, is now going to be a Criterion Collection spine number 1204 release, and a 4K plus 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo release option to boot. So this is very, very exciting news indeed. You know, there's some interesting little details about the paraphernalia of that Criterion Collection Laserdisc in terms of what's included as well. So it'll be interesting to try to compare what this new Blu-ray or 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo package will have to offer. Oh, this is so cool. This is really cool indeed. I'm eyeing the picture here. Will it be a digipack release? I'm not sure. It looks to my eyes from the pictures that are made available on the Criterion Collection website. Maybe it will be. Maybe for the 4K UHD release. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see about that, or is it going to be the plastic case? Those are always fun details to consider when the packaging discussion occurs. Those are very fun indeed. But yes, at the end of the day, of course, ultimately, we are dealing with this film, TRAINSPOTTING, the Danny Boyle film, and what a jolt of electricity this film was, and this film is, and this film continues to be. This is very, very exciting. My goodness. So TRAINSPOTTING is coming back into the Criterion Collection in this manner. Spy number 1204 for January 30th, 2024. TRAINSPOTTING. Wow. Wow. So that concludes, I think, the news with regard to the recent release, or not recent releases, the new releases that are planned for January 2024. The new releases for the new year, which is going to be a few months from now as the time of making this. So we have a number of titles that are, say, 4K UHD plus Blu-ray, alternative options to be made for currently existing titles that are sitting in the Criterion Collection at the moment. So I'm speaking of the great Apu trilogy, and speaking of the great film Blood Simple, as well as some films which are sitting in the Criterion Collection catalog, but will also see this new collector's set release in the form of the great filmmaker Chantal AKERMAN's work, as represented in this new release, Chantal AKERMAN's masterpieces, 1968 to 1978. Wow, wow, wow. And on top of that, we have a number of new releases, new titles. I count, including those titles which up to now, the AKERMAN titles, which up to now haven't been included in the collection, of course. In addition to that, we have Lone Star, and Mudbound, and TRAINSPOTTIng. Although, as I mentioned, TRAINSPOTTIng has an interesting detail in terms of its Criterion Collection history, as it was a Criterion Collection Laserdisc back in the day. So there we go. We have another Laserdisc title that will now be reintegrated into the current Criterion Collection physical media catalog. So there's a lot to digest, a lot of exciting things to digest here. So what can we say about this? So first of all, like with our previous discussions of the 4K releases of currently sitting titles, we're going to have to talk about what the differences are, if any, between, say, the new 4K release and the currently existing, say, Blu-ray release. So sometimes there might be, maybe for those who already have the Blu-ray release, maybe that's enough. Or maybe for those who are waiting for a 4K release, is there enough discernible points to make the new 4K release stand out or not? Or is the Blu-ray alone enough? Again, we're going to have those discussions, and I think it's ultimately subjective. It's up to your own point of view and your own needs as a consumer, of course, my dear friends. But let us have that discussion as we have before with similarly situated titles. Let's have that discussion again when we talk about the Apu trilogy and Blood Simple in the context of the format. But of course, let us also, when those titles arrive, take the opportunity to talk about those great films, because those are indeed, in their own ways, great, great, great. So I'm very excited for that opportunity, my dear friends. And then just skipping over to the set, we have a great set here, a multi-disc set of a number of films spanning the course of 10 years. The Chantal Akerman Masterpieces set, 1968 to 1978. Wow, again, mind blown. This is another filmmaker who has had a number of releases before, but we're getting 4K or 2K restoration treatment here for the works, as well as this set format. So comprehensive, detailed discussion and journey through the AKERMAN works. My goodness, this is another cause for celebration, my dear friends. This is so, and I cannot wait to be able to speak about the AKERMAN works with you, my dear friends. And then, of course, we have the new releases, the new titles, the John Sayles work, the Dee Reese work, and Danny Boyle. So TRAINSPOTTING, MUDBOUND, and Lone Star, each in their own way, so thrilling, so exciting, and offering so much in terms of the cinematic richness and the artistry that's involved. And we have, of course, some format discussions to be had here too, because as I say, not all, but we have the DVD format, again, not applicable to all, but still alive and well in certain iterations anyway. So we'll have to see over the course of 2024 how that will proceed going forward. And that's always been an issue, of course, ever since some time back. But we'll keep that in mind, of course. But we have, of course, the 4K format, very much part of maybe becoming more of a regular occurrence. Quite a regular occurrence here, I would say. What is it? We have most of the titles here planned for January 2024, relying upon the 4K format in one form or another. So that is, of course, very interesting news, seeing how Criterion, and other labels for that matter, but Criterion being the subject of conversation here, seeing how Criterion treats that going forward. And then in terms of sets, we have the Chantal Akerman Masterpieces set which, to look forward to. That will start our year of 2024. This is very exciting too as well. So we'll have to wait and see what, if anything, Criterion has in store for us in the course of 2024 with these sets, multi-disc sets, and in terms of dimension and size and packaging. Of course, we'll talk about that when we talk about the AKERMAN set, because that's, of course, part of the fun of the conversation, but as well as the films themselves. So I'm thoroughly thrilled about this. So I am, again, I'm so excited about this. I'm very excited about this. And the number of titles that have to offer, and just it feels like a packed month. And we have, it seems like a balance maybe between quote-unquote new titles that are emerging in the collection versus, say, titles that already exist. So it's nice to see that as well. And the number of titles, as well, the quantity as well, it's quite high. So I'm very thrilled with this. Very thrilled indeed. My dear friends, how do you feel about the planned start for 2024 from Criterion? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you somewhere in between? How do you feel, my dear friends? Please let me know. Please feel free to let me know in the comments section below. As always, I'd love to hear what it is you have to say. Your comments and your outlooks and your perspectives are so important. So please feel free to let me know. Let us know how you feel in the comment section below. But my dear friends, that's it for now from me. Again, this date of October 16th. Now it's getting dark outside, so let me just end the video here. But until the next video, my dear friends, please continue to be happy and healthy and well. And please keep on watching a lot of great movies, including those in the Criterion Collection and beyond, of course, because cinema is a vast ocean filled with so many examples of what makes cinema so great to each and every one of us, based on our own cinema journeys. But maybe that will include some titles or two in the Criterion Collection. If so, or if not, whatever the case may be, you're always welcome to this channel anytime, my dear friends. But whatever the case may be, and until next time, yes, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.